Then as the city roars, tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight. Every touchdown, every goal, feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal, feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. The CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm the host, Iceman Jeff Trunipole, and as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view, right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of Fox 19 and Bengals Now, which is where we are at right now. If you guys are in the area, come on down, enjoy the show. They got who they got on again?
Cam Taylor Britt and Jermaine Burton.
Thank you. I had a brain fart there. He just told me right before we started, and I forgot. But anyway, come on down here. We're having a great time. We have a ruckus crowd of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people here. So make sure you guys come on down. Let me bring in Neil. What's going on, Neil?
What's going on? How are you guys?
Good, man.
Good, man. Good. I'm ready for Sunday and a Bengals victory, and the chances of the Bengals make the playoffs look better than they did last week. I mean, we still need the Broncos lose every single game, or the Chargers lose every single game, and there's a very good possibility that one of those teams to do it. Plus, we need, I think, the Dolphins to lose the game and the Colts to lose the game, which I think that can happen. There's still a lot that has to happen. The Bengals have to win out. There's still a chance. At least there's still something for us to look forward to and watch other teams and root against other teams and stuff like that. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, most definitely. I think there's definitely still a path for Cincinnati to win out. Obviously, you have a big one on Sunday versus Cleveland, but overall, I think if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I think everyone's going to be tuning in tomorrow night to watch Denver versus the Chargers. The Chargers.
You almost said San Diego.
I
still do it. They've been there for like 7 years.
But the Los Angeles Chargers, I think tomorrow, if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I think everyone's going to be tuned into Amazon Prime, right? That's Thursday Night Football. Everyone's going to be tuned in there, watch some football. But overall, Jeff, as you said, I mean, realistically, if it was me, you see the Chargers winning tomorrow, so there chalks up your one loss to Denver.
Yep.
And then on top of it,
we play them.
We play them, and then the Chiefs play them. You can chalk up week 17 or 18 to Kansas City as a loss.
And people have come at me and said that, well, the Chiefs will sit Mahomes. I don't think the Chiefs are going to sit Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes miraculously always comes back from his high ankle sprain that he always has every other year.
Yeah, I don't see them doing it unless they secure a first round bye. But even then, like I would still expect Mahomes to play, even if it's one quarter of the final week. But overall, it's gonna be interesting because you look onto it. It's Kansas City.
Yeah,
Kansas City's Kansas City. Everybody knows that.
Unfortunately,
now will they sit their starters? I don't know, but they're still a lock. I don't think they have locked up.
If the number one seed is still up for grabs, they're going to play.
They're going to play.
Which that's what we have to hope for. So they do play and try to win that game.
Yeah, no, most certainly. And if that is available, I think we're going to see a full-on Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce the list goes on and on. Chiefs versus a Denver team in Week 17. But overall, I mean, if it's me, Cincinnati, you want Los Angeles Chargers to lose out. I did it again, too. Dang. You want the Chargers to lose out.
It just rolls off the tongue, San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, it rolls off so much better.
Yeah.
You want the Chargers to lose out, but Denver realistically is going to lose the next 3 games. I think it's
because he can't. In that last Sunday, he can't move.
Yeah. No, and Justin Herbert's been hurt all year, too. He's been battling some nagging injuries. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see what that Chargers team will expect, too, because, I mean, you look on it on the Chargers offense. I mean, outside of Justin Herbert, they have one weapon outside and Quentin Johnston. They have a good tight end in Will Dissly, who's also hurt right now. So, I mean, you got to factor that in consideration. I mean, the Chargers aren't in a playoff spot.
Right.
So, I mean, what are they going to lose? They're going to throw Justin Herbert out there and a couple other guys and try to play spoiler?
Well, they are in a playoff spot. They're ahead of us.
Well, yeah.
They do have stuff to play for. So
they do have stuff to play for. So they're going to play their guys.
Yeah, they're going to play.
Overall, if I'm Cincinnati, it's going to be you're building momentum. And I said it last night on our show, Jeff. Keep rolling the big 3 out there for the coin toss until you lose a game.
Yes, exactly. We're not superstitious, but we're little stitious.
Oh, I'm superstitious on that. If I was an opponent and you go out there for a coin toss and you see Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Scary.
Like, oh, crap.
Yeah, they're like, oh, shit, here's business again. But, I mean, you look on it. I would be scared if I was an opposing team going out there for that coin toss. And hopefully, Sunday is a trend in the right direction, especially versus a backup quarterback. Well, I mean, 2 backup quarterbacks. Cleveland has been awful this year.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see because on top of it, Jerry Jeudy has been balling with Jameis Winston.
Yep.
How will that wide receiver room and receivers and offense really click with the struggling quarterback?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see that.
We don't even know because they're going to switch quarterbacks, so we're not even sure.
DTR was announced the starter today by Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, so we're not sure what that dynamic is even going to be like.
It's going to be a dual threat. That's what he was in college. That's what he was known to do. It's going to be a dual threat offense. You'll probably see DTR with 10 carries plus, especially with Nick Chubb out for the year.
And that's going to be a whole different element to the Browns game than they have had ever. I mean, Deshaun Watson runs a little bit, but he's not really a running quarterback, and Jameis Winston isn't a running quarterback. Jameis drives me nuts, dude. I mean, my
dude's goofy.
He's good. He's good, but I mean, he can throw 27 touchdown passes and 27 pick sixes. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life.
Wasn't he the first quarterback that went 30 plus touchdowns and then 30 interceptions?
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Ridiculous. I mean, he's got this thing where he just can't stop throwing an interception no matter what he does. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's just strange because if he'd stop doing that, he'd be a starting quarterback in the NFL for somebody.
And what's crazy is it always comes at the end of the year.
Yes.
Always
comes
and it's
at
always
the
at
the worst time in the game. Like you're trying to come back and he'll throw one to the linebacker or something like that.
Hey, if he was out there starting this weekend, he wanted to lob a couple up.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with it.
Shit, I'll take it. But
exactly.
Overall, I think DTR is going to provide a much different dynamic than what Deshaun Watson or Dorian Thompson-Robinson or than Jameis Winston will provide. So
let's move this down and make you look a little taller.
Hey, there you go. I'm only 5'6", folks. Yeah, not much is going to make me look taller.
Make you look a little taller. So again, we're live down here at Newport on the Levy right before Bengals. Now got Jermaine Burton, Cam Taylor-Britt's going to be the guest, and the rumor is that Cam is bringing the overalls. And Joe is going to wear them. Now, Joe is chickened out and not going to do it shirtless, which I'm very, very disappointed in. I always, not that I want to see a man shirtless, but just to make fun of the guy would be completely worth it. I mean, if you make a bet, don't you think you should completely follow through with it there, Neil?
Hey, that was a pretty ballsy bet.
It was
by Joe. That was a pretty ballsy bet. I know, being a media member, I know I have never made any kind of crazy deal like that.
You want to be on this show with your shirt off?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I know JT and Alex have made a bet before. I don't know if we told you that story.
No, what's that?
So a couple years ago, it was the Rams and the 49ers playing in the Super Bowl.
Right.
The Rams is Alex's team.
Okay.
JT is a big 49ers fan.
I'm sorry to hear that.
The loser, if JT lost the bet,
mm-hmm.
he would have to show up to Wes Miller's press conference after a game in Meech's old jersey. and sit front and center and ask questions.
And how did that go?
JT lost. Brock Purdy folded. Or no, it wasn't Brock Purdy. It was Jimmy G. Jimmy G folded. And then on top of it, Wes was kind of surprised. Like, JT asked the first question. He goes, "Is that Meech's jersey?" It was pretty funny. But overall, man, I haven't made anything bet for Joe.
Yeah, pretty. I'm good with I mean, at least it's a jersey. It's not,
I'm good with my sweatpants, my jeans, my khakis, my hoodie, whatever I'm wearing that day. I'm good in it.
Just chilling.
I don't got much style or anything, but I'm good in what I got on.
So again, we're down here at Newport Levy. Come on down. We're gonna do Papa Shot, which I know Dale loves. Every single time I do Papa Shot, I'm hoping that they'll actually keep it up so I can actually get my rematch with Joe Danman today. Because I'm down 2-0 to him. It's very, very irritating.
I'm still standing on my statement from last night.
I know. Yeah. Well,
I need an actual Papa Shot machine.
An actual one.
For all those listening,
not the one that bounces around. Because this was kind of flimsy. Because I flip it up there and hit the backboard. This one bounces around.
If you didn't listen to last night's show, when I covered the CFP, every media member was registered to do a Papa Shot competition, like a tournament at the college football playoff in 2021. Yep. There was 24 people that entered. I got second. I want the smoke. I want it.
I might just tag you and let you take on Joe tonight.
I don't know.
I tried to get Terry to do it last week, but Terry's a former
Terry would have been dunking,
and they can't shoot free throw. So
yeah, Terry would have been dunking.
Terry could be my rebounder, he said. So Brad here wants to know if we got any predictions for the game, meaning the Bearcat game, Friday night, which is UC at Heritage Bank Arena, which I got the name right. I always call it the Coliseum, versus Dayton. Well, I'll let you go. Let's just roll this way, since you're the one who covers the Bearcats. News and notes on that game coming up with the Bengals, the Bearcats versus the Flyers.
Well, Dayton got their trap game out of the way.
Yeah,
they had a huge win over number 6 Marquette over the weekend, and what was an environment that was absolutely rocking. But, however, I am glad that this game is not being played at UD Arena because it is physically.
It is one of the toughest arenas to play.
It is physically impossible to win a game at UD Arena if you are an opposing Dayton team. Now, if you're in the first 4, cool. It's easier to win there. But if you got the Dayton faithful behind you, it's a hard place to play at.
I agree with that.
But this is an interesting Dayton team. They're guard heavy.
Right.
Very guard heavy. Now, I mean, think about where they were last year. It's a completely different Dayton team from a season ago that ended up beating Cincinnati. I was actually writing about it earlier. I'm almost finished with the article I'm writing. They lost Deron Holmes, first-round NBA draft pick. They lost Kobe Bray to Kentucky, who is arguably one of the best pure sharpshooters in all of college basketball, just ahead of Seamus Lukosius. They lost Colby Elvis to Oklahoma, so they lost three key pieces from last season,
right?
To the transfer portal in the NBA. But then they returned guys like Malachi Smith, who missed all of last season. He's the lead point guard. He's got 20 assists to 1 turnover over the last 2 games.
Woo.
So very, very good with the ball in his hands, can really facilitate for others. But this is a Dayton team. Nate Santos was one of the hottest players in the transfer portal this offseason before electing to withdraw and return to Dayton. So on top of it, he's another pure scorer. Dayton has 4 guys who average nearly 12 points a game.
So is this a trap game? I know we got
definitely a trap game for
because we got the Big 12. I know we got Howard after that, and then we got the Big 12 started. But this
got Grambling State after.
Grambling State, my bad. I played Howard. This does seem like a trap game for the Bearcats because I hope they're not looking ahead to the Big 12 because it's going to be a gauntlet.
Especially what happened last year down there at the Coliseum with
that wasn't
matchup.
Good. We never showed. The Bearcats didn't show up last year.
There was very little support from the Bearcats fans, it felt like, because the Dayton faithful came down
over
and literally took over. And I mean, my seat on the floor, let's just talk about that. The media press row, it's going to be different this year, was courtside. I was right in front of the Dayton band. And if anybody knows the Dayton band, like you guys see how close the stage is behind us, that's where I had about 5 drums banging all game last year. And what was crazy is I even went and got them little earplugs.
Yeah.
Nah, I still couldn't hear shit for the next few days. Still couldn't hear nothing.
Did you have a headache at the end of it?
Oh, I had a headache. But on top of it, Dayton fans travel very well.
They do.
Very
it's not that far. It's only an hour up the road.
Which Wes made a good point yesterday in his press conference. He said the NCAA committee looks at this as a quote unquote semi-neutral game,
which
for both, but it's like
it's just because it's that neither one's home court.
Yeah.
Other than that,
which I understand how they see that because both schools are.
I mean, it's in Cincinnati. It should be a home court advantage for the Bearcats,
and that's what Wes was getting at. He was like, "We need the Bearcats fans to come out here a little bit more and
show up
on there, especially with what they showed up on Saturday,
right?
In the crosstown shootout." But it's also a weird start time. It's a weird arena. You're going to have the ice under the floor again.
Yep.
It's going to be a weird setup.
What's start time again?
8:30.
That is a very interesting time.
8:30 on a Friday night. But I'll plug this.
Yes.
Pre-game party. Join Jeff and Joe and them at Millions. Get your drinks on.
Exactly.
Then get right down the hill. What is that? A 5-10 minute drive? If that, to Heritage Bank Arena.
I know I kept you around for a reason.
Plug that out there.
Well, let's go ahead and plug that out there since you just brought it up. Now, Neil won't be there, but me and Joe will be at Millions Cafe at this Friday at 6:30. So it could be a pregame party for you. Come on down, get nice and lathered up. Not too much. Be able to make sure you get down.
Meet our friend Josh.
Meet our friend Josh. Josh has been 2 weeks. He was a little more tame last week than he was the week before.
He was shooting a shot.
He was shooting. I don't know. We'll have to see if he connected or not. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see on
we'll
that.
Have to find that out. But yeah, come on down. It's a great time. 6:30 to 7:30. Plenty of time. The game starts at 8:30, so plenty of time to have some drinks, have some food. Come on down, or come on up. It's up the hill, and then go down the hill to the Bearcat game and root on the Cats because we do need. It's in downtown Cincinnati. There's no reason that Bearcat fans should not outnumber Flyer fans. There's no reason.
And for those going, plan your travels accordingly. Don't be coming at halftime, obviously knowing the bridge and all that kind of traffic.
Yeah.
Get your ass there ahead of time.
Hey, Tony Blazin said he's coming to Millions. All right, there's one. We got one coming. Tony's awesome. He was at mine and Harrison's watch party at Trillions, which was a blast with the
I missed
Los
that
Angeles
one.
Chargers.
But I heard Harrison was pretty lit.
I heard Harrison was lit,
and then it got quickly.
He was very depressed too.
Very depressed quickly.
Yeah, he's a very, very emotional man.
Hey, sometimes it's all right to be emotional, you know? Sometimes it's all right.
Did you see his news video where he's in the car, which is where he does most of his videos, but he was in the car cheering the Bengals.
The Bengals victory?
The Bengals percentage of going to the playoffs.
I did not see that one. I'll have to hit the IG later to find that one.
Yeah, you definitely, if you guys should not following Harrison, the comedian, on Instagram, I highly, highly recommend it. He's a funny dude, and he does some interesting stuff. And sometimes he takes his shirt off and sings.
He's a comedian for a reason, right?
He's not just a TikTok comedian. He's an actual comedian.
And if you guys like some good food, you can find him at Cooper's Hawks Wine and
yes,
out there in Kenwood.
Yes.
Make sure you take care of our boy.
Yeah, go ask for Harrison. Take care of our boy.
If you're going there on a first date, highly recommend Harrison as your waiter.
Exactly.
Damn, that would be funny.
No, that would. One of these days, I keep telling me, Mrs. Ice, we're going to go out there and we're going to get Harrison to be our.
Could you imagine going to Cooper and then you see
Harrison? Hey man, do a set while you're waiting.
Harrison, I got a mic ready for you. We're going to hot mic him while he's at work.
Exactly.
Tell us how you really feel, Harrison.
Exactly. All right, so let's get back to the Bearcats here. Then, do you have a prediction here? I mean, I my prediction is always the same. It's going to be the Bearcats by 100. But what's your legitimate prediction?
Legitimate prediction: Dayton can really score the ball. It's going to come down to Cincinnati's defense. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I feel like I'm going to go 72-68 in favor of the Bearcats.
And the thing is, I don't think the Bearcats are going to shoot as bad as it did against Xavier.
No,
I don't. Not.
I don't think so either. But what was interesting on that note, Jeff, obviously we had Wes Miller's press conference yesterday. He watched the whole game with Jizzle James and every possession breakdown of each and every possession. Even when Jizzle James went 0 for 11, he was like, we watched every possession through. But the best thing that he did was you couldn't tell he was 0 for 11 walking to the foul line and hit those two shots, the two free throws to kind of ice that game versus.
You couldn't tell that with any of the Bearcats. And I'll even shout out to Seamoss because he was awful. He couldn't hit
what's
the crazy? Out of the barn.
As I was thinking about it too, that three where Seamoss comes out the corner on the catch and shoot and contested.
Yeah,
we literally asked him earlier in the week. We go, CMOS, what's your favorite 3 to shoot? And he goes, the difficult ones. That was that was a difficult 3, very well contested.
But it was in rhythm. It was the most
feet were square
one
right.
he had. Yeah.
But he said he likes the difficult ones, and that was a difficult shot for that one. That was a huge 3 in that game. But overall, I don't think Cincinnati is going to shoot 32% from a game. I don't think you see them shoot under 38 in the rest of the season.
Now we say that, now watch them go out there and shoot bricks all game long, but they shouldn't. I mean, they're a good shooting team. I mean, they are. I mean, Dan Skillings will be his third game back,
and you can definitely tell like he's still finding his groove, the conditioning, the cardio aspect. He's finding his way back there, especially after missing a month. So it's going to be interesting to see him get back to his true self.
Mm-hmm.
But the matchup I'm excited to watch is Dylan Mitchell versus Zed Key. Zed Key killed UC in 2022 in Maui.
Right.
Absolutely lit him up, 18-11. Cincinnati's going to have a way to stop him in the paint.
One thing, I'm glad you brought up Dylan Mitchell. One thing I loved at the end of the crosstown shootout, his interview.
Yes, that interview.
ESPN,
Fired me up.
He said that was the most fun he's ever had in a basketball game, and this is one of the best rivalry, if not the best rivalry.
Which is crazy because if you would have asked him that maybe 8 minutes prior to that, after he rolled the ankle, I don't think that would have been the most fun he had after rolling that ankle. And then we all were sitting there, we're like, "Oh no, this could be it for him."
Right.
And then he pops back, he tells Wes, "Yeah, I'm good. Just let me tie him up." And then he comes out and balls out.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, that interview, like, fire me up, run me through a wall, because he even said it. Cincinnati is built for this. If you want to come through Cincinnati, if you want to come to Cincinnati, you got to go through us.
Right.
And hearing how connected this group is, obviously I see it being around the team, but this is a very well-knit collective group.
Right.
And even Dylan Mitchell pointing out the guys there on the ESPN broadcast saying, even the guys who don't play,
they're still locked in.
They're still locked in. And the 2 that really need to get a lot, or the 3 that need to get a lot more credit in that aspect, CJ Anthony, walk-on point guard.
Yes.
CJ Frederick.
Yep.
Rayvon Griffith. You look at the pictures that posted of all them celebrating in the middle.
And they don't even play.
Rayvon Griffith was the one jumping up in the middle.
Yep.
CJ was the one throwing water. And then the other CJ is fired up in the background. Those are 3 guys that combined for 0 minutes in the crosstown shootout.
And they are locked in.
And locked in, having the most fun.
And that's when you know you have a team.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's one thing that I think Wes, and I said this beginning of the year, that he did a great job of keeping this team together. I mean, we didn't lose.
It wasn't easy. I'll tell you that. It was not easy.
They didn't lose too many key people.
I mean, Dan Skillings even came out. He goes, I can promise you that there was a couple people who got offered close to 7 figures probably to leave, and they all stayed.
That's impressive.
So Wes found a way to keep them.
I like the Bearcats, but I might leave.
Dan Skillings even said, he was like, I promise you there was a couple guys that were offered much more money to leave Cincinnati to go play elsewhere, do the transfer portal, compared to staying, and they all chose to stay. And that just shows the belief that they have in West.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I want to get back to Dylan Mitchell. One thing, this is the first game where I think I saw him actually try to score, try to impose his will on another team where they needed him because other guys couldn't shoot. That, I think, is a good sign moving forward, because we're going to need somebody else, especially down low. I know he's outside and inside, but he is a big guy. He'll be down low. We need another scorer. If he can be consistent, you got if the guys who need to be consistent scoring, Jizzle, Dan, Stemos, and then if you get Dylan Mitchell in there too as well, and then Aziz Bandego is dunking on everybody, and I'm so happy that he's doing it because I got so tired of watching him trying to lay up everything last year. But the improvement that he's made, and seeing Mitchell take on some offensive ability, or not, what am I trying to say? Just some offensive
firepower.
Yeah, firepower. There you go, firepower. That just bodes well for this team moving forward into the Big 12, because you're going to need as many scorers as you can get once you start the Big 12.
Especially when your first game's Kansas.
Right.
Especially when your first game's Kansas, because you look at Kansas, KJ Adams is back, Hunter Dickinson's back, DeJuan Harris is back, AJ Storr transfers in from Wisconsin and gets $1.2 million, which was crazy. Flory Badunga is a big guy that Cincinnati highly recruited that elected to go to Kansas. Kansas got some dogs.
Oh yeah, they
got
Kansas.
some dogs.
Yeah,
but on top of it, Dylan Mitchell is going to play a huge role, and I've said it all off season heading into this one. I said if there's going to be a guy who's going to need a bucket for Cincinnati, and those guys are off, it's going to be Dylan Mitchell.
And that's what happened. That's what happened
Saturday.
Yeah,
especially when he went isolation and took that guy baseline and blew right by him for the easy layup. That's what Cincinnati needed to do. But I mean, I know I saw a thing on Twitter earlier about people looking at Jizzle James' stats from a season ago to where he is now shooting wise. Guys, I promise you, Jizzle James isn't going 0 for 11.
No,
especially within an 8 to 12 foot range. He's not going 0 for 11 again, because I don't know, for those who really go to the games or follow around, Jizzle James is always one of the first people out there. He goes through an extensive pregame workout. And I mean, like, guys, he is caked in sweat like a footballer. Like his dad was running through a hole. Yeah. He had sweat already dripped down complete through. He's not just going out there just putting up shots. Like, he's putting in work. Malik Massey and the GAs are putting him through a brutal workout before the games. Ball handling, close mid-range floaters, and all that. They put him through a workout before the game, to say the least.
Now, one thing I do want to ask you, and this is one thing that I noticed during the game, Day Thomas, I know at least once, maybe twice, passed up a mid-range jumper. Has anybody asked Wes about shot?
Bread and butter, yep.
That's his shot. And I can't remember what play was, but I just remember in my mind.
There was two plays where Day had the drive where he went by his defender and kicked it out.
Yeah, so he
for
could
the
have just
three
shot
and passed up on what could have been a wide open layup or a floater.
Yes.
And obviously, I think Cincinnati missed both shots.
They did.
Off of that. So
I was yelling at the TV show. I was like, shoot it, Day. You're right. You're open. Shoot it.
And I think that's just more of the role that Day is playing this year. He's trying to facilitate a little bit more. But, I mean, obviously, the mid-range game has always been something to his strength.
Right.
And
that's his game. I mean, that's his shot.
I do think we'll see him kind of up that a little bit more in the upcoming weeks, especially heading into Big 12 play. But overall, it's a huge opportunity for Day Thomas, because everybody knows Big 12 play comes around in a week and a half. I can't wait. Rotation's going to get cut. We saw the versus Xavier even.
We need we need as many scores as we can get. We can't have a guy out there, especially who handles the ball, passing open jumpers up. You can't have that, because they're just going to back off him because he's not going to shoot it.
Yeah, no, most certainly. And I mean, you look on top of it too. You don't want those guys to pass the mid-range jumpers.
No.
But Cincinnati has so many scores that are able to do that.
Well, especially one where they're not shooting the ball well. You can't pass up an open shot.
Yeah, no, most certainly. And while we're talking about the shootout, Jeff, Connor Hickman, deserves all the praise for his performance.
Yes, he does.
In the shootout, because let's be honest, he might not know what to expect coming into this rivalry. He hits the 2 clutch threes. Mm-hmm. He takes the huge defensive stand, creates a turnover. On top of it, his energy and stuff lit the Bearcats on Saturday. But for Day, I still think it's another thing too, like still trying to overcome the foot injury. I know they have been very, very cautious with them, but they're still trying to kind of I think they're still a little overcautious with him. They don't want him to go out there. I know Wes said about 2 weeks ago they still had him on a minutes restriction.
Right.
But I think more as the season goes on into Big 12 play, they're going to open things up a little bit for him to play more minutes.
Yes, I'd like a beer. And I agree with what Brad says here. He said Day is still getting comfortable playing. I think he was second guessing his shot. Yeah, I totally agree with that, because if he's comfortable, he's taking that shot. He's taking a floater. He's stopping. He's shooting it. It was wide open at the free throw line. I mean, it's a gimme shot, and he passed it up twice. And those are the ones that he can't pass up. And the Bearcats can't have him pass it up. They got to make that shot. Now, Brad also has another interesting question here. What's your thoughts on the Bearcats' first football game at Burrowhead? And yes, it's still Burrowhead. I can't help it. That's what they named it. That's the name of it. Yes, it is. They named it Burrowhead. It's called Burrowhead.
For the folks listening, money talks.
Yes.
Money talks. You look at what obviously people think about the game being in Indy. Yes, I personally,
would rather be there. Yeah,
would rather be in Indy, because it's an hour and a half drive. It's a day trip.
It's a better stadium too.
It's a day trip, but essentially, think about it. Thursday night, August 28th. Think about what's going to get you money. It's a primetime TV slot.
Right.
Cincinnati is expected to nearly double the revenue than what they were getting
Really?
And that game in Indy. Woo. So the game at Lucas Oil, Cincinnati was expected to get around 2 million via ticket sales and everything.
Yeah.
They moved that game to Burrowhead. Numbers are close to 3.94 million.
Wow.
See why they moved that?
That's
Cincinnati, that's a big move. NIL is massive right now. Transfer portal is massive.
Need as much money as you can get.
Need as much money as you're going to get. But on top of it, the reason it's another power move by John Cunningham is not many people know this. The Big 12 revenue share goes into effect this year.
Ooh.
Cincinnati was getting one of the lowest portions of the Big 12 revenue this past season. Now that they're in their first quote-unquote full calendar year in the Big 12, they're getting close to $16 million in revenue share for basketball and football alone.
Nice.
So you get that game out there. On top of it, get an extra 3 to 4 million. What could go wrong there?
Right.
I mean, yes, it's not ideal for travel plans and whatnot, considering it's on a Thursday. But on top of it, think of that money aspect.
And Bearcat fans, you get to go to the beautiful city of Kansas City and see nothing.
Bearcats fans, Travis Kelce, Brian Cook. Think about that. You get an opportunity to go out there and see where they get to go to work every day. Because on top of it, let's make this known. Arrowhead Stadium.
Where's that at? I've never heard of Arrowhead.
Yeah, I heard it's in the.
What's it?
I heard it's in the middle of Kansas City and some cornfields. Called
I
Burrowhead.
Oh, Burrowhead. Yes, that one.
But on top of it, haven't been out there. Little do you know, you can drive right by the practice facility on the main strip.
Yeah.
Out there. It's kind of like the Bengals. Like
you can throw oranges at it?
I don't know if you could do that.
Just chuck it from a highway?
But, well, it's actually tucked.
Yeah.
So,
it is? Okay.
Yeah. So, Kauffman Stadium's here off the highway. You see the backside.
Yeah.
You'll see where it says, like, World Series champs or whatnot. Arrowhead's behind it.
Yep.
And then there's a driveway where all the parking lots are.
Yeah.
If you go out to the driveway and you go kind of north.
So on the other side toward downtown?
No. No.
On that side? Really?
So when you go, the side that's adjacent to Kauffman.
Yeah.
On the opposite side, there's a drag. If you go straight on the opposite side, straight out to your right, there's a street and it'll take you to the highway.
Okay.
But it'll take you right. Literally, the way you'll get out of the parking lot, you will have to go right past the Chiefs practice facility, and the field is wide open.
Huh.
It's an open field, and then you have their strength and conditioning, all their offices and whatnot.
I didn't see that when I was there.
So you must have went out the wrong way then.
I went out the wrong way.
But I only know that because I went out.
When
I went out and got adventurous and was driving around with Ryan, and we found it.
You tried to break into the facility?
No, we were trying to find a way to get a tour, but our guy didn't come through.
That sucks.
But we still got two times in Kansas City next year. So if they're listening, I'm going to be hitting y'all for that tour. But on top of it, Kansas City, I mean, people are going to be pissed, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I know it's not ideal for travel plans.
No.
But on top of it, think about the money aspect. That's the big thing in this one. Now, obviously, people are wondering about why it's not included in the season ticket fan package.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, I didn't know
that game is not included in there because despite
it's week 0, right?
Yeah, it'll be week 0.
Yeah.
Despite it being a Cincinnati home game, like Cincinnati will be the home team. Despite that happening, it won't be in the season ticket packages because it's ran by an outside vendor.
So wait.
There's a third party that will negotiate the tickets, the allotment, all the behind the scenes stuff to really set. They're working with a third party group. I can pull the email up and
I believe you. That's weird. If it's a Cincinnati, considered a Cincinnati home game, why are they using a third party to negotiate all that stuff?
From the press release, opening the 2025 season at Gayha Field at Arrowhead Stadium is an incredible chance to showcase Bearcats football in one of the NFL's most iconic venues, said John Cunningham. This game is a unique opportunity that not only significantly benefits the program financially, but also puts the Bearcats in the national spotlight. This matchup reflects our commitment to thinking big and maximizing possibilities of our program in the ever-changing college athletics landscape. And it says, this will mark the second meeting between Cincinnati and Nebraska. Arrowhead Events is excited to once again host major college football at Gayha Field at Arrowhead Stadium. This time, welcome Cincinnati as they battle Nebraska, said the vice president of Arrowhead Operations and Events. Our stadium is an iconic sports and entertainment venue. So they kind of get the understanding of where it was on top of it, but it was a money grab. So that's kind of what it was. Thank you.
Cheers. That's for you. We have our great beer vendor here. My father. Appreciate
nice
it.
Little IPA action.
Yes. Is it?
That's what it was. A little wheat ale.
Ooh, that's good. I like that. I like that a lot. Matt, your uncle wants to know where Gabby's at. Gabby's not here yet.
Yeah, man. I don't have a comment on that one. I can't.
I'm just saying Gabby's not here is all I'm saying.
I couldn't give you a comment on that one.
Your uncle is so inappropriate sometimes.
Very.
So all right, so that's still it still is weird to me that it's a UC home game and they're having an independent outside party to negotiate. It just I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's the neutral field kind of aspect.
I guess. So they're not even are they associated with Burrowhead at all or anything, or are they just?
That was the head of operations talking of Arrowhead.
Okay. Sorry, I was listening to you. Then all of a sudden, beer showed up, and I kind of lost my train of thought because beer got here.
Matt says wheat ale will put me in the hospital.
Yeah, you would trust me. Nobody wants to see Matty drinking alcohol because he spills stuff. It's I've seen it many times.
Party foul.
It's not a good look on him. So to me it is exciting. Actually, it's very exciting that the Bearcats are a part of Week 0. I mean, that's part of being the lore of being part matchup there against Nebraska, which is funny.
Which it's funny it's versus Nebraska because their quarterback has gone notoriously viral for looking like Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, really?
Dylan Raiola. Look him up.
I have to.
You will see he does Mahomes' whole pregame ritual. It's going to be,
But Patrick might have to put a restraining order on this guy.
No,
maybe.
No, but he does look like Patrick at a younger age.
Yeah,
but he's not Patrick Mahomes.
Does he talk like him? That was my impersonation. That was horrible.
I don't know. I've never heard a press conference.
You heard him talk?
But I mean, he was one of the top prospects in the 2023 recruiting class. So I mean, he has right to talk and back it up. But Nebraska was mid this season, so until the play gets better, it could be interesting. But I do see that being a Bearcats dub next year in Kansas City.
Let's hope so. Because I mean, now I know you tweeted out that the Bearcats got another recruit for football.
They got 2 yesterday.
Go ahead, talk about those.
They got another wide receiver, Jeff Caldwell from Lindenwood, 6'5", 210-pound wide receiver, finished with over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns last season. Big time player.
Excuse me, we're podcasting over here. You're awful loud.
Keep being loud, Dale. But a big time wide receiver. Cincinnati obviously needed to target wide receivers in the transfer portal. They go out there, they get Jeff Caldwell, and then they also get another guy. I'm just drawing a blank on the name right now, but they get 2 wide receivers who are both quick playmakers in the portal. That's what they needed. They needed playmakers. They're going to need guys to separate. But on top of it, you get those 2 guys, and then you get a kicker who was 23 for 23.
They need a kicker.
Which they needed a kicker because on top of it, there is no kicker on the roster. Carter Brown entered the portal, and Nathan Hawks had no eligibility left. So on top of it, they needed a kicker.
Right.
But the bigger news for Cincinnati's forefront, Joe Royer with the surprise announcement at the Crosstown Shootout that he will be returning.
Yes.
For the 2025 season.
Which is great.
Which, we tried to get the information. Nobody knew until he walked out on that court.
Wow.
From what sources told us, he had no decision until he walked out there with Dante Corleone and Brendan Sorsby, or up until then, right before that.
So he made the decision right then and there?
He made the decision right then and there.
I'm staying.
Yeah, that's a huge win.
And that's the thing. Like we all get on sat about his record, and like I said, I'll say what it was. The end of the season was a collapse. It was, but he's getting a lot of players to stay, which tells me something. Tells me they like playing for him. They believe in what he's doing. It's just I don't understand the end result of the season. To lose 5 in a row, you need 1.
From year 1 to year 2 was completely different. It was a completely 180 turnaround.
I totally believe that.
Because obviously you had the 3-9 season. You had a group of guys who probably weren't as bought in as what others were. And then on top of it, you come back the next season, you go 5-7 when you should have been bowling, especially versus Pittsburgh. You had the West Virginia debacle. Cincinnati should have been bowling. But on top of it, you get Brendan Sorsby to return. You get your veteran quarterback back. Not only a veteran, gets 2 years in the Big 12. Brendan Sorsby still has 2 years left. That's huge. And then on top of it, you get Joe Royer to come back. You get your center, Gavin Gerhardt, to come back, who could have gone to the NFL and probably been drafted. You get him to return. That's huge. There's still one more piece on the offensive line that has the opportunity to come back, and John Williams. Nobody knows what he's going to do yet, whether that's go pro or come back. Hasn't announced anything. Haven't heard much of it. But that would be a huge win if you can contain John Williams for one more.
Yes.
Especially, he developed into an NFL right tackle, left tackle.
Oh, yes.
So overall, it'll be interesting to see if he comes back. But on top of it, Cincinnati goes out and you land 2 more big guys up front in the transfer portal as well up front. And one of them is 6'8". I mean, 6'8" offensive tackle. Jeez.
He's almost as big as you are.
He's about a foot. I've been going to be doing an interview with him looking like this.
Like, hey.
On top of it, I mean, he was a guy who's 6'8", 295.
Right.
I'm sure coming in January, you're going to get him on campus. Nico Palizzetti is going to have that dude by 3:15 by spring.
Get him in the Monster Factory.
It's some kind of factory. I don't know what they be doing in there, but it's some kind of factory because the way they've been transforming these bodies has been crazy. So,
hearing any rumors of any other transfer portal guys coming potentially, or is that how actually? But I'm going to put it this way: how hard is it to try to figure out who might be coming and who might be going? How hard is that with the transfer portal the way it is now?
The transfer portal is so wild.
Yeah.
So wild because in these first 3 weeks, starting on December 9th, you get 3 weeks right up until the new year. The portal will close on January 3rd. It's either the 3rd or the 4th. It's one of the two.
Right.
But on top of it, it's like come, go, come, go, come, go. You never know. You really never know. But thankfully, we have good sources within the program. They might be 1 or 2 more getting ready to come. But overall, they had a wide receiver on campus Monday night. And JV Gibson, he goes to Oklahoma.
Ooh,
that's where he ended up committing. But that stemmed from Cincinnati landing 2 other wide receivers, the same kind of play style. But overall, Cincinnati's got 2 big wide receivers. But overall, I think that's huge because on top of it, the wide receiver room just got completely depleted.
Yep.
Completely depleted in the portal. And this offseason, I mean, guys were struggling. Tony Johnson made a big jump. I was really impressed with him. Xavier Henderson made a jump. But outside of those 2, you really didn't have much. Jamoy Mays had 400 yards. I mean, he was your steady Eddie guy in the slot. But on top of that, Cincinnati really didn't get much room to play without the wide receiver position. But I expect to see them get 1 or 2 more DBs. They offered a linebacker, which is funny because I covered his recruitment in 2020.
Yeah.
Melvin Jordan, they recruited him, and he's dropped a little bit of a cryptic tweet, I guess we can say. Dante Corleone retweeted that he got an offer from Cincinnati with the eye emojis. And then Melvin responded, "I'll see you soon." So that could be one.
Very interesting.
Linebacker depth, obviously, was at Oregon State. It's going to be interesting. Transfer portal is so wild.
Yeah, it's
so wild.
Like Wes said at the coach's show last week, there are no rules. Like for the transfer portal, NILs, there's no rules. It's still the wild west. It's crazy. That's why some of these older coaches have gotten out because it's too much. That's
especially in college basketball. I mean, Tony Bennett retired early.
Yeah, and he wasn't even that old.
No, Jay Wright got out of it. There was a couple other that stepped away. I mean, shit. Tony Bennett retired in October.
Yeah,
just unexpectedly. So NIL is changing everything.
It's a pain for them.
Transfer portal changing everything, but agents being involved.
Yep.
My thing is with the transfer portal and NIL is I hope these agents aren't ripping these young individuals off.
And the thing is, you're not going to know that until it's too late.
Until it's too late.
Yeah.
Until it's too late. And I mean, look at the college athletics. I mean, look how many people have had NIL issues.
Yeah.
To where they put them in the portal. I mean, we saw a quarterback this year, Matthew Sluka from UNLV, go viral because UNLV promised, quote unquote, promised him a certain amount of money. and he didn't get that money.
Right.
And then he hits the transfer portal, and he now ended up at a Power 4 school. I just can't remember. But still crazy how that all plays out.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, if I were any of these guys, you got to get it in writing of what they're offering.
Lesson learned for any young individual.
Get it written down. Brad here has a question for you, Neil. He said, what's your thoughts on the new kicker for UC?
Hey, anytime you see 23 for 23, you know you got a kicker, right? But
plus, since we didn't have one at all, it's better than what we had, which was none.
But you look at him.
Oh, we've been told he has a really cute girlfriend, too. So that's breaking news.
I can't comment on that one. I can't comment on. I don't know.
No, not the Bengals.
Oh, that's the Bengals kicker.
Yeah. The Bengals, yes. The Bengals kicker, his girlfriend's a Dallas Cowboy. We're talking about the Bearcats.
She's a good look. She's a good looking one.
Yeah.
But on top of it,
she got some TV time the other night too when they were on.
But on top of it, if you look at Rusnick's misses,
yeah,
they all have been straight on misses, like straight, like the ball didn't move. But he's got a leg.
Is that good or bad?
He's got a very good. From what I saw, a quote from his high school coach or his trainer. He's got a very strong pandemonium, great swing, great form. But when his misses happen, he hasn't missed by much. It's just been a straight, like it's the straightest kick you'll see. So 23 for 23, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I mean, I just want a kicker who can actually, make kicks. That would be nice because we struggled badly this year.
Hey, they hit them versus Miami. They
didn't versus Texas Tech.
Yeah,
that would have been nice.
That win was bowling. That one was bowling.
That would have been a nice get, but that happened.
But also, let's be honest here. That kick should have been 20 yards if the refs weren't on some horse.
Oh, don't even get me started on the referees. I said today, team like screwed by the refs.
4 different Texas Tech penalties, and then it was a 8-second runoff here, 10-second runoff here. Like, how are you going to penalize the team that didn't commit the penalty?
Right. That I still
make it make sense.
Too much through it. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Like, how did we? The clock didn't go in our favor. I don't get that one. That one's
Cincinnati sports, man.
That still scratches my head there. Are the Bearcats going to wear? Which I this is my new favorite jersey. By the way, I'm going to say this again till Mrs. Ice buys me a jersey. The Black Cat jersey. Are they going to wear that again? Or was that a one-time thing?
I'm not too sure. I hope they wear them because
I hope they do too because they're badass.
That was a very fire uniform.
That was.
And I actually found a website where I could order the sweatshirts and stuff.
Uh-oh.
So I did order one.
Send it to that girl over there.
Send it to Jen.
Send it to her. Send it to Jen.
But I did find one. But I don't know if it's licensed. I don't know if it's
legit.
But it was out there, so I ordered one. But on top of it, I would hope they would rock those.
I
would hope they would rock those out more. It's going to be interesting, but
you bring it out for big games, but
those are a very, very fire uniform. However, if they get a new alternative with the Cats,
I like that too.
I wouldn't be opposed. I would not be opposed.
Now, one thing that always cracks me up, I brought this up for Brad wants to know what site.
I don't know. I found it on Instagram. It was
look it up.
I'd have to look it up and drop it in the chat.
But one thing I've said this for years, and it always cracks me up that so many teams now have a black or all black uniform. And to my knowledge, and I'm kind of old, I don't remember teams wearing all black uniforms until the Bearcats did for the basketball team.
Hey, they were fire.
Once that started, then more teams got all black. Duke even has an all black uniform, and there's no black in the colors,
which is crazy. But they are clean uniforms.
Oh, they're nice.
Which is crazy. Speaking about Duke, because their starting point guard, Sion James, I covered him for 3 years in the ACC, and then the transfer portal comes, and then Duke's calling him. I was like, man, this kid definitely thought he was a high caliber player.
Yeah.
But watching Duke the other night, I'm like, damn, it's crazy to see Sion out there. He went from Tulane with Ron Hunter to John Shire and Duke, which is crazy. But that's transfer portal.
That's what happens. I mean,
that's the transfer portal.
I mean, and that's the good. I mean, there are bad stuff to the transfer portal, but a lot of good stuff. A lot of guys get better opportunities than what they had before. And I was always against that. A coach can leave whenever the hell he wants, but players can't. And the thing is, for me, with the transfer portal and the NIL, then this goes back to the whole thing where I think college basketball, college football need to just break away from the NCAA and create their own damn college, professional college basketball, football conference, however you want to, because they can do it. They don't need the NCAA. I still don't know why they even put up with it. They don't need them. The money is because of the players and the coaches in football and basketball. They need to figure out the NILs. That's where a commissioner would come in, like baseball. They need a salary cap. I don't think they'll ever get it. They need
MLB needs one, because that's the crazy thing. Shohei Ohtani got what, 650, 700 million, and he only got 68 of it up front, and then they just deferred it for the rest of the year, and then they go on and win a World Series. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then they continue to make big splashes in free agency. Like, make it fair.
Yeah, you gotta and that's the thing with the NILs. Like, the schools, there's schools like Texas. UC cannot compete. No matter how much Cincy Light I drink, and I drink a lot of it, I'm not gonna drink enough that it's gonna compete with what Texas can do.
Yeah, I'm the same way, and I've been drinking a lot of Cincy Light lately too. But it's on top of it. You look at that.
Yeah, this is not Cincy Light.
But on top of it, you look at what these other schools are offering. Texas is having their football recruits pull up to the stadium in Lambos, Ferraris, Corvettes, whatever it might be, on visits. If I can tell you right now, shit, if I'm a college or a high school kid going on a visit,
sold,
and I see a vet or a Lambo or a Ferrari,
I'm going.
Shit, where's the contract? Where's
right, exactly. And that's
what you need from me.
That's what I'm saying. They need some rules and regulations to this, and the only way for me to make sense of this, and NCAA is a corrupt organization, I think, and they can't get their head out of their butt. But that's where you need a commissioner. You need a set of rules for everybody. And the thing is, too, if you would do what I say, which a lot of people should do this, but nobody's going to, you could break up, like, you could put rivals. You wouldn't have UCLA in the Big Ten. You could break it up north, south, east, west, central, however you want to do it. You could break it up because whatever the commissioner or however you want to put it would set it up, because you wouldn't have four power schools. Just take the Power Four or those schools, and that's your national conference or national collegiate conference thing. And you can do that with football, especially football. That's where the money is, and basketball. And then the rest of the schools, like swimming and all this stuff, don't have to, like UC don't have to travel out to LA and all this stuff. It could be more regulated, and it would be better for the kids. And I'm not talking about just the football players. I'm talking about all scholarship athletes, because there are ones that are just scholarship athletes and they use it for the education.
Yeah, no, most certainly. And that's the interesting thing too, is so many different things happen within the college athletics and everything. It's such a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
NIL is a crazy thing. You never know, but most certainly it definitely needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Especially looking at it, you have Power 4 conferences. They're going over 3 different time zones.
Yeah.
More than likely. Like, it's not easy on these kids. It's not easy on coaches and stuff, but I get you want to see the money aspect and the money grab for these bigger schools. But it's going to be interesting to see what trends out in the future.
I was trying to get Gabby's attention. See if she wanted to come over for a little bit and talk. Yeah, so Paul, yes, the Bengals are doing the striped game for the Browns here. And my dad had a question here. Do you think any of the college players actually go to class?
Yes, because I had class with them in college.
Do they consistently go to class?
I remember sitting next to Vic in class when I was in school, which was crazy. But yeah, most of them do go to class. There's some of them who are in the online classes or whatnot, but most of them you will see pretty frequently around campus, especially at UC.
Jeremy, Joe, do you guys want to talk? Okay, they said 1 minute. All right, cool.
Pretty blunt question.
Well, I couldn't get anybody's attention, so I figured I'd just use the microphone and ask. So yeah, that's the thing. Is like, but guys, I'll put it this way: And guys that are one and done, they might not go to class.
Well, you have to be passing classes.
Well, especially after their season's done.
You have to be passing classes to play, but obviously, you look at some situations in the past. I can tell you Johnny Manziel didn't go to class, especially after shit blew up for him. He did not go to class because he even came out and said he was like, man, I was too big to go to class. Lamar Jackson, during his Heisman run, people recognized him too much and didn't focus in classes, that he had to turn all of his classes to virtual classes. Donovan Mitchell was the same. If you're a big, high athlete in college, like a big-time college athlete,
right?
Majority is, most of the time they'll put you in online classes.
Yeah.
Like, they're still going to classes, but most of them will be online. But now, if you're in person or whatnot, that's going to be the different thing.
Right.
Like AJ DeBensta, for reference, when he gets to BYU next year, making $7 million in NIL, I don't think you will see him in a classroom on campus. I guarantee you everything's going to be online. Number one player in the 2025 class.
Yeah.
I can promise you all of his classes will more than likely be online.
So you're saying he gets special treatment, huh?
I wouldn't know if it's, well, he's already came out and said it's probably one and done for the league. Especially when you're getting $7 million in NIL, like he ain't there to play school for $7 million.
He ain't there to play school.
What was that? Who was that?
Coach
Cardell
12 gauge.
Jones said that.
Jones. I ain't here to play school.
Shit, Cardell could have racked up an NIL.
He should have, because
if he would have put that on a shirt back in the day,
dude, he could have made so much money. I ain't here to play school, or just his nickname, which is still one of the coolest nicknames. 12 gauge.
Yeah,
that's number 12. That was still one of the coolest.
Imagine the NIL landscape, and Cardell Jones comes out and his quote is, we don't play school here. We can't play football.
Can't play football.
You put that on a shirt, that would have been making
bank
back in the day.
So speaking of football, we actually had the first ever college football playoffs.
12 team
playoff.
I'm so here for it.
Dude, I was talking to a couple guys at work, and I'm like, are you guys going to watch it?
Hot take, Arizona State going to the finals.
Really?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
The team that UC beat.
With a backup quarterback who is awful.
We still beat them.
Yes. But Kenny Dillingham, fire me up.
Yeah?
I'm here for the Big 12.
All right, now we got him. He's fired up and ready to go.
I see Arizona State making the deep run in the playoffs.
All right, so we're talking a little of the college football playoffs here.
Ooh.
First time ever, 12 teams.
Yeah.
Neil just dropped something here. He says Arizona State's going to be in the finals.
Give me Arizona.
What, Georgia, Texas?
Yeah.
Second round? They're capable, but it depends on what.
You just said Georgia and Texas.
I don't think Texas is going to make it out of the first game.
Yeah, Texas won't make it out of the first game.
Really?
No.
Yeah, when they play Clemson, correct? Yeah,
Correct.
I like Clemson. Clemson's hot.
Okay.
They're playing good football.
Okay.
And you can't trust Quinn Ewers now.
Yeah, he's a mess.
You can't trust Quinn Ewers.
I don't love Arizona State. I like their running back a lot. He's a monster.
Yeah, he's a tank.
But I don't think they're going to win that first
Their
game.
quarterback's legit, though, for being
he's
a redshirt freshman.
He's pretty good.
But you have all the energy surrounding Kenny Dillingham right now. 33 years old, youngest head coach in college football, making the playoffs. A lot of momentum right there. I don't know. I like it.
So, okay, put it this way. What's your thoughts, Joe? Who do you think's got the best shot at this so far?
Well, I think Oregon has proven all year long.
Yeah, Oregon's a tough team.
There's no doubt about it. It is really hard in modern college sports to have a target on your back the entire season and be perfect.
Yes.
Now, what's interesting about me saying that is we've had the target on UConn now for 2 straight years in college basketball, and they've won 2 straight national championships. So Oregon this year, they've been tested, they've been pushed multiple times, but they are absolutely loaded. It is theirs to lose. Their path is difficult.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the Tennessee-Ohio State game is going to give
Which
them
is going to be a very good game.
Great game. It's the game of the opening weekend.
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait for that one.
They put it at prime time Saturday night
for
everybody to watch.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And I don't know what you're going to get from Ohio State in that game. It's fascinating to me, just all the undertones of what's going on in Columbus and Ryan Day's future. He very well might be
his last game
coaching
if he
his
loses.
Final game, but
if he loses,
might well be have the second best team in the country. And so it's what's going to happen. Is Ryan Day going to lose this thing and get fired, or is Ryan Day going to run the table and save his job and win a national championship? Either outcome is very likely. I mean, I wouldn't say very likely, but could happen.
And the question is, him running the table, is that what it's going to take for him to keep?
I don't know.
His job?
I think if you beat Tennessee and you beat Oregon, he slays some dragons, because it's not just the Michigan dragon with him right now. It's the big game dragon that he keeps getting to the final minute, the final 2 minutes, and his teams just always come up short.
Yep.
It's kind of felt like what the Bengals are this year,
right?
Where they always get into the final 2 minutes against these good teams and just can't finish. So I think if he does beat Oregon. But the other question, too, is, and I have a lot of friends who work in Columbus who used to work here with me, who now work on the daily covering Ohio State football, who believe he might be looking for an out.
Well, it might be smart for him to try to get out.
The job just is too much.
Yeah.
It's too much stress. It's too much attention, and it's not good for his family's mental health.
It's a grinder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, he's paid very handsomely. He understood what the job he took. But life would be a lot easier for Ryan Day as a coordinator somewhere in the NFL.
It's kind of like Kyle Perry finally giving it up and leaving Kentucky. It's a grind.
Yep.
And Kyle Perry did it for over 10 years.
The expectations are maddening.
Yeah.
I mean, the expectation is one thing every single year, and if you don't meet that expectation, you're run out of town. And this might get him run out of town. He might just run himself out of town because of the expectations.
Now, the question is, does he have an escape hatch? Does he have at Arkansas? Does he have a school?
It might be the NFL.
Ooh.
It might be a look to the NFL.
If he goes to the
coordinator.
NFL, Chip Kelly goes somewhere back to the NFL.
Yeah,
if you ask
I would
me,
think so too.
If you ask me, just due to their relationship.
So if he does leave, who do you think might be is there somebody on the staff that might be the next?
Probably nobody on the staff. Brian Hartline would be the one that everybody would look to. He's probably not yet.
You don't
ready.
think it'd be Chip Kelly? You don't think?
No, not Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly and Ryan Day.
Yeah.
Due to the history those two have, dating back to when Ryan was a kid.
Chip is just as accountable for the mess of the Michigan game as Ryan Day was.
If it's Ohio State, you give Mike Vrabel a call.
Sure. That's the number one call.
The number one call.
But Mike Vrabel's going to get a lot of calls. And Mike Vrabel might not want to do everything that you have to do in college football with NIL, with recruiting. In the NFL, you have an entire department who does that for you. Now, you're involved in decision-making. He was that way when he's at the Titans, and it's part of the reason he lost his gig is that they just weren't restocking their team's personnel well enough through the draft and through free agency.
That sounds familiar.
He's the number one call. He would be the number one call for Ohio State. And then after that, I'm sure they would try to find a number that would get Dan Lanning out of Oregon.
Yeah.
Now, it would be extreme, and the money that Oregon has right now with Phil Knight's endless pockets, that they might match or go over whatever Ohio State would put up there. But you would be crazy if you're a college football program with the stature of Ohio State not to call the number one guy in college football right now, and it's Dan Lanning. It's not just where his program is right now. He's proven he knows how to use NIL.
And that's the key. We're talking about that.
I mean, that's what that team is right now. I mean, they've got Oregon uniforms on, but they're the NIL All-Stars. And that wins. And it's proven right now you can win instantly with a roster like that. That doesn't need a ton of time to gel. If they're that good, they're going to win. I am ready. Jeremy in on this, because I made a promise early in the season.
Yes.
And I want to make sure I get this correct here.
You got a shirt on underneath there?
I do not.
I
do not. Now.
Getting a little excited now.
I said like week 1 or 2, if Cam gets a pick six in the next couple of weeks, I'll wear the overalls.
Yeah.
So no
the
exact
pick six took like 10 weeks.
so no exact timeline on the show.
I guess there was no statute of limitations. So I'm going to go ahead and call it, and we're going to meet in the middle. I'll wear the overalls, and I'll have a great time doing it.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody want to see that shirtless.
Here's the thing, though. I mean,
that.
You're saying it took 10 weeks. Like, a pick six is no guarantee in a season, right?
Ever.
Like, there are DBs, cornerbacks, safeties, whatever, that get lots of picks, lots of interceptions, and it never leads to actually getting to the end zone. And so the fact that he got one is kind of cool. Like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
He said he's excited about it. He said he's swinging by his place. He's grabbing the overalls. He's bringing them tonight. So he's ready. He's aware. Everything should go as planned and be a great time.
Should.
Key word there.
Should.
That's the thing, with young people, sometimes they just forget. So maybe tonight's a night he can just forget. I hope he brings them. I want to wear them. I think it'll be fun.
Right.
It'll be a great talking point to be up there. What I am worried about is how big they're going to be.
They're going to swim on you.
I haven't seen the clip since he wore. What week did Cam wear the overalls to the stadium? It must have been week 2.
Yeah,
right?
Way early.
Yeah.
So it was week 2. He went shirtless.
He did.
I mean, he can.
Well, he can't. Yeah.
He's a professional athlete.
And he's like 20 years younger than you,
Correct. He looked excellent.
But other than that,
but
you'd be
he
great
was
at it.
swimming in it.
Yeah.
And he's built.
Yes.
I'm like a piece of drywall. I'm like flat body.
You're gonna look like Fred Flintstone a little bit rocking this.
Is I've got layers on now, okay? So I can just put it over this. He went one button.
Yeah.
And let
One
the other
button,
button
yeah.
open.
Yeah.
Like, hey, want to see a peck?
Like, what up?
And there it was.
I
I might be double strapped.
Social media
You know,
tonight,
not only
Joe,
double
and
strapped,
then-
I might crisscross the straps
Tighten it up
to
a little
try
bit.
to tighten it up and make it a little bit better. I hope he brings it. I hope he
he does
remembers
too.
it. I think it'll be a lot of fun to be up there and wearing it.
So that
it's
right
gonna be-
there is a reason to come down to Newport and Levy to watch this man step up to the plate and do his bet that he made that I know I've been giving him crap about doing. So
it's funny because Jeff asked me if I made any deals like that. And I was like, that's a ballsy bet. Right
Yeah, it
there.
is. And the funny thing
What were you
was,
thinking?
well, the second it happened, the number of texts I got from my coworkers, at least 5 people, ding, 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 and then I started getting messages on Twitter from people who come to Bengals now and who are on that social media app were firing away messages at me. I was like, oh boy. In the back of my mind, it was, I said if he did it in the next couple of weeks, but I'm happy to do it. I hope I get to do it. It's going to make a moment. We're here to make moments. We're here to have fun. And that'll be fun to make a moment. So why not?
So Jeremy, have you ever made a bet like that in any of your other jobs or anything like that?
Yeah. Are you being facetious? This is one of the greatest all time.
Yeah, well, I know.
ever.
What is the worst one? I'll put it that way.
Okay,
that's a better one.
The floor is yours.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
I was trying to set it up for him.
You're referring to the Tin Man, Joe?
Yes,
of course.
Okay, so the one that's on your Twitter, or what's on your Twitter?
So we were, it was one of those things. We were in Chicago early summer covering the Reds and Cubs on Fox, and it was one of those things where the weather was just absolutely dreadful. And I was already in a bit of a sarcastic state, which doesn't take me a long time to get there. Joe knows this as well. But we sat around in the press box there with a tarp on the field, watching it rain and rain and rain, and seeing the forecast and understanding it wasn't slowing down. I understand they wanted to get that game in that night, that it's a game on Fox.
But it's time to call it.
But
it was miserable.
It was miserable, and there was no end in sight. And so I tweeted something like, because their tarp is sponsored by Reynolds Wrap. So I tweeted something sarcastic like, if they actually play this game tonight, I will do whatever I said. I will go live, do an entire broadcast wearing tinfoil. And of course, after I want to say it was like a 3.5 hour delay. I mean, it was something crazy. Wow. They actually played the game.
Right.
And as you can imagine, I got tons and tons of reaction about that. And in fact, I didn't actually wear the Tin Man, the tin. It would have been like 4 or 5 days. I cannot tell you the vitriol I was getting on social media. There were people who were legit like mad at me for not manning up and delivering on this bet. I just wanted to do it in studio. So yeah, I did it in studio. I had producers and friends help dress me in the tin foil because it takes a lot of work to make a tin hat.
Well, and then it's hard to move that without ripping it.
Can't move. It's flaming hot. I mean, I only had it on for like a half hour. I was sweating. Like that actual sportscast, I remember trying to think cool thoughts so I didn't drip sweat down my face. And then if I moved too much while I talked, it crinkled. So I stood perfectly still. But yeah, that would be the one. I think.
Still have the tinfoil hat at your desk, correct?
Well, Issa, our producer, did such a great job making the hat. I wanted to have it as kind of like a memento from that night.
I love memento.
It was craftsmanship right there.
But I got an awful announcing for the second time in the last couple of years, and that means a lot to me. So yeah.
That's awesome. I have never yet made a bet like that yet, and I don't plan on it because
smart.
I don't think anybody
backfires every time.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever wants to see me shirtless.
I made a bet with him last year.
Yeah,
that the Pittsburgh Steelers would have a losing record. What do they finish? 9-8.
9-8. Another L for you,
Mike Tomlin. And we bet a 6-pack of beer on it that I had to pay off. So it's just like, and don't.
That's a bet I could do.
Don't bet against the Steelers though. When it comes to that,
annoying. It's annoying.
You can't.
It's annoying. It's.
I gotta get the show ready.
Yep, you guys gotta go. coming on, boys. I appreciate it.
Good times.
Come on down. We're going to be live here at 6 o'clock for Bengals now. They got 15 minutes. I got to get the heck out of here so I can get out of their way. Neil, we're going to follow you so we get out of here.
Yeah, you guys can find me at social media at MeyerNeil6 on Twitter. You can find me at CincinnatiRivals.com. Bearcat Blitz, we have a great podcast with Corey Blunt that came out this week, talking a lot of Xavier trash after the win, so go hit that out. But on top of it, we'll have another The Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast coming out this week as well, so make sure to tap in and check that out.
Exactly. Neil, appreciate you coming on the show. As always, like I said, we're live down here at Bengals Now, Newport on the Levy. Come on down. We're having a great time here. I want to shout out to my sponsors here real quick so I get the heck out of there. Priority Lawn and Landscaping, Midwest Best Barbecue, Meyer Windows and Doors, Hail Marys, and come join us this Friday night pre-gaming at Millions right before the Bearcat game. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day, and that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Weekday nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports await. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports await. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight.